Welcome to this episode of Bear News. While more students have been attending school through Zoom or on a hybrid schedule, the UNC Police Department has managed to serve and protect students on and off campus.
And tonight, we take a look at an iconic fast food restaurant that has called Greeley home for 84 years, but could possibly be gone forever. JB's Drive-In.
And have you ever noticed the large number of feral cats in Greeley? Well, later on, we have an inside scoop on exactly who's been taking care of these strays. Thank you for joining us on Bear News. I'm Austin Sack. While attending UNC during a pandemic, the semester's flexibility has allowed professors to alter their typical in-class curriculum and send students into the field.
And I'm Catherine Stahler.
Many Americans have been adversely
affected by
COVID-19.
Sophie Deutschman for a look into the Loveland Community Kitchen and how Dr. Amy Wright's JMS class has managed to run a campaign in spite of COVID.
Many Americans have been adversely affected by COVID-19, but students in JMS 481 are working hard to give back to the community. On February 3rd, the Loveland Community Kitchen celebrated 1,500 days of consecutive service. This means they've been active every day since December of 2016, but because of the pandemic, their food service has gone up by over 50%. Students in JMS 481 are running a campaign for Loveland's Community Kitchen called 15 for 15. They're asking for $15 donations, which would equal to around 7 meals. Students went to the kitchen on Wednesday to meet their clients and get video content to promote. The class is split up into 4 groups that help build the campaign. The media relations group has been in charge of getting video content of the campaign. The promotions group has created a logo and campaign slogan. The social media group is in charge of the online presence, and the event group held the event on Wednesday. As of February 5th, $2,500 in donations has been raised with a goal of $15,000 by the end of the campaign on March 3rd. Professor and manager for the campaign, Dr. Wright, explained the importance of giving back to the community.
This campaign is a really it's a community service. It's a community project, and it is really about helping those that have been impacted by this pandemic.
Tune back into Bear News next week for another update on the Loveland Community Kitchen and the progress with their campaign.
Sophie will join us again next week as she gives us another update on the success of the campaign held by UNC journalism students. Most of us know that UNC has its own police department because of parking services and the silver cars that are parked on campus. But UNC PD takes care of more than just tickets. UNC Police also offers services like escorting students across campus, fingerprinting, and bike registration. Calling 911 will direct students to the campus police to assist if you are having an on-campus emergency. The police also conduct arrests and investigations into incidents that happen on UNC grounds. The Clery Act requires universities to disclose information about the crimes that happen on campus. This means that anyone can take a look on a university's website and see what incidents and crimes have been happened on campus. This also means that students can get an update on what kinds of crimes are occurring and when they happen. Students receive safety precautions a few times throughout the year. In the past month, there have been investigations and arrests for theft of bikes, alcohol violation, vandalism, fraud, and harassment reported in the daily crime log. UNC PD keeps the campus community safe, and next week we'll take a look at what it is like for them to work with the City of Greeley Police. Being under the jurisdiction of both city and campus is something we all experience, but may not even notice.
A long-standing Greeley institution is no longer with us, at least for now. JB's Drive-In usually closes in December and January, but opens back up in mid-February. But this year, it's not reopening. The famous drive-in closed due to owner Rod Clark and his mother's health issues. Another reason deals with staff. They've had trouble keeping staff and have had to reduce business hours the past couple of years for that very reason. But in a call with radio host Sean Patrick Clark, emphasized that closure wasn't because of the COVID-19 pandemic. In fact, JB's is one of the very few restaurants where business remained steady last year. JB's will stay closed through the rest of the 2021 while Clark evaluates options, with hopes of a return next year. Wow, what a loss. You know, JB's originally opened in 1937 as Jess's Sandwich Shop. We here at Bear News will be sad to see JB's go after calling Greeley home for so many years. Their burgers and root beer floats were a Stala family staple.
Tonight on Bear News, we have news about a new COVID-19 testing site on the UNC campus. The new testing site opened February 6th and will be available to the UNC and greater Weld County communities. The new testing location is on the east side of Bishop Lair on UNC's campus. This site is run by Mako Medical and will be available from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. 7 days a week. Individuals will need to visit Mako Medical's website to create an account in order to receive results. Participants can expect to receive their results within 3 to 4 days. The test is a nasal swab PCR test that's free, painless, and quick. It won't be the nasopharyngeal test that goes deep in the nostrils. This is a drive-through testing site for Weld County, although walk-up testing is available for students who live on or near campus. The testing site is hosted by the State of Colorado, City of Greeley, and UNC. It permanently replaces the curative testing kiosk that is located near Nottingham Field. That site closed on Friday, February 5th.
There are many events happening throughout the duration of February as we join together in celebrating Black History Month. One of the first events was called Spread the Black Love, where they gave out free Valentines and goodie bags.
We're doing our Spread Some Love event. So we have just little goodie bags that we're handing out to students today from 9 to 5. This is one of our events for Black History Month. So we have a huge span of events, from cooking events to DJ events to craft events that you get to take home and do with us. So we're super excited to just spread some love with y'all this Black Heritage Month.
The Marcus Garvey Cultural Center hosted the event. The Garvey Center is just across the street from the University Center. No need to worry if you couldn't make it to the Valentine's Day celebration. The center has scheduled more events before the month is over, so you won't want to miss out. The cat's out of the bag. Greeley has a stray cat problem. While not a problem on the UNC campus, the off-campus blocks in Greeley are home to hundreds of feral cat colonies. This week, Bear News reporter Camille Kleiman took a look at the 7th Avenue Cat Colony to answer the question, just who takes care of all these stray cats?
Meet Big Boy. He's a nubbling cat who enjoys all of the perks of house cat living, like sitting in windowsills and lounging on warm beds. But until his owner, 21-year-old UNC student Morgan Kusler, took him in last year, Big Boy was a stray belonging to the 7th Avenue Feral Cat Colony in Greeley.
Eventually, a couple months in, this little guy wandered up to the porch, and he was just really close and seemed to be a lot more comfortable around us than some of the other feral cats. And eventually we just built our trust up with him and got to the point where he would let us pet him, and then he'd let us pick him up, and then eventually we brought him inside.
Big Boy's old feral cat colony is one of hundreds roaming around East Greeley. But who makes sure the cat's basic needs are met? Enter the Northern Colorado Friends of Ferals. Since 2009, this organization has been providing food, water, and outdoor shelter to feral cat colonies across northern Colorado with the help of their volunteers. The organization has helped reduce shelter cat intake by nearly 30% at Weld County Humane Society. They've also lowered the number of euthanasias in the facility from 47% in 2009 to just 16% in 2016, and have performed over 11,000 spays and neuters, most in Weld County. When the cats are fixed and vaccinated, the tip of their ear is cropped under anesthesia before re-release, a mark recognizable on Big Boy and the rest of the feral cats in his old colony, who receive help from the organization yearly. While in the future, Kusler hopes to see no cats wandering the streets, for now she's grateful that there's an organization that's working hard to keep their bellies full and their paws warm. Reporting from Greeley, Colorado, I'm Camille Kleiman, Bear News.
If you'd like to help out the feral cats in your part of Greeley, visit the contact page on the Northern Colorado Friends of Ferals website at www.nocoferals.com.
And after this short break, Bear News will be back with an update on how UNC's campus salon stayed open and how it has managed with fewer students on campus.
We're also excited to welcome back Bear News meteorologist Mackenzie Lake. Mackenzie will join us here in the studio for a look at current weather conditions.
We'll be right back.
3 out of 4 Americans know little to nothing about heart valve disease. Yet 11 million Americans are affected by heart valve disease.
If you have symptoms, please don't delay your care. physicians are trained to listen to the heart and detect any abnormal heart sounds or murmurs.
Heart valve disease usually can be treated successfully in all patients, regardless of their age, race, gender, or ethnicity. The key is getting properly diagnosed and treated in time.
Please look after your own hearts. You have a lot of living to do yet, so enjoy it.
Act now.
Listen to your heart.
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 Listen to
your heart.
Go to valvediseaseday.org to learn more.
With classes in full swing, students have started to spend more time venturing to gyms and the great outdoors in search of an escape. Whether that to be heading to the mountains with a pair of skis or enjoying a beautiful Greeley sunset in the park, meteorologist Mackenzie Lake has a first look on what you can expect weather-wise.
Hi, I'm meteorologist Mackenzie Lake, and taking a look at current conditions across Greeley, Colorado right now, we have a nice layer of stratiform clouds all across our area, which is cooling our temperature down to a chilly 15 degrees Fahrenheit. We see that snow has stopped from this morning, and thus it has melted all on the ground and on the roads, so roads are nice and safe to travel. Tune back again later for our full weather report.
Living in Colorado, we all know how quickly the weather can change in our beautiful state. So meteorologist Mackenzie will be back later in the show to give you her full weather forecast. If your hair is getting a little shaggy, there's a perfect place to go and get a haircut. And you probably walk by this business every day and don't even realize it.
Hello, my name is Jolene Mayo, and I own Mana Joe's Campus Salon up at the University of Northern Colorado. And what we do here is we provide an incredibly wonderful experience for personalized hair care services at an affordable rate.
You can find the salon inside of the University Center next to Einstein Bagels. The salon is only open on Wednesdays, so you have to schedule your appointment in advance.
We do like to promote some of the students and the things that they've got going on because they are the biggest volume feeding pumper to the salon, so I like to promote them as well. Facebook is where you can find us. Mana Joe's Campus Salon, UNCO.
So along with everything else available at the UC, now you know you can get your haircut as well. Intramural sports are still happening this semester, but they look a little bit different than in years past. This time the season is split into 3 different parts. Season A is currently underway and features all online events to stay in line with the Level Orange protocols. And this season, students can compete in a video game bracket with games such as Rocket League and NBA 2K. But intramural sports thought outside the box for some of the other events. In the Bachelor Challenge, students compete by choosing which women they believe will receive a rose each week. They get points by how many they predict correctly, and this season runs until February 21st. Then students can begin to sign up for Season B intramural sports. Graduate Assistant Jay Mahoney says that as vaccines roll out, they hope restrictions ease up. If so, their next 2 seasons will feature more of the traditional in-person events such as soccer, basketball, and flag football.
With a change of the level, we are hoping to get to yellow before those seasons start. That might include volleyball, basketball, pickleball, and then we are going to be doing still one virtual programming, which would be the March Madness bracket.
In spite of new challenges this semester, intramural sports is doing everything they can to provide students with a sense of community and competition.
With the pandemic affecting everyone's lives, efforts to be environmentally conscious have taken a back seat as more people are concerned about their personal health and safety. This week, Bear News reporter Jordan Sherman wanted to catch up with the Earth Guardians organization to see how UNC students can implement simple and easy tips and tricks to be more environmentally friendly.
Sustainability might be the last thing on people's minds right now, but Amelia Hovanak, a member of Earth Guardians, shares some advice on how to be more sustainable.
So I think sustainability has kind of gone out the window during the pandemic. People are focused on their health more than anything right now, which is totally understandable, but I think we need to focus on how people can be sustainable during a pandemic. It's totally possible still. I think one of the biggest things to do is stop using the single-use masks. Instead, you can use a reusable one. Pretty much every store sells them now, so it's accessible to everyone.
More than 1.5 billion disposable face masks have entered oceans in 2020 alone. By using reusable face masks, it not only helps the planet but also saves you money. What makes this process even easier is how convenient it is to simply throw masks into the washer or wash them by hand.
Another thing to do would be, instead of going out and buying little small hand sanitizers, you can just reuse those and then fill it by buying a big hand sanitizer. Also, using reusable bags instead of plastic bags at the grocery store. They won't bag them for you anymore, but you can bag them yourself. It'll take seconds more. It's not a big deal.
Using reusable bags helps limit single-use plastics. Environmental reports show that just 9% of the world's plastic actually gets recycled. The majority of plastic ends up in landfills, our oceans, and the environment. Making matters worse, the toxic chemicals used to manufacture plastic gets transferred to animal tissue and eventually enters into human food.
People can come to our weekly meetings every Tuesday at 6 over Zoom, and the Zoom link's in our Instagram bio, and our Instagram is Earth_UNCO. And then we also have a YouTube called UNC Earth Guardians, where we post all of our recorded meetings. And so every week we'll just be encouraging people to be more sustainable during the pandemic, so please join us.
Reporting from UNC, I'm Jordan Sherman, Bear News.
You can find more information about eco-friendly efforts on campus by visiting the Earth Guardians Instagram page at Earth_UNCO.
UNC's own literary magazine, The Crucible, has a long history on campus. While it originally started in the 60s, The Crucible has been forged into something completely new.
Run by United Student Literary Voices, The Crucible publishes student work for all to see. In normal years, the magazine puts out themed and general issues, but Editor-in-Chief Justin Venman says this past year has been anything but normal.
So our last two issues have been kind of, I'd say, doom and gloom a little bit.
The theme for 2021's edition? What lies on the horizon?
I'm super looking forward to this edition. I think we have a lot of good stuff already submitted. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it comes out, and check it out.
If you're interested in publishing your own piece with The Crucible, submissions are open until March 26th. Coming up after the break, we have meteorologist Mackenzie Lake's full weather forecast.
And we have a score from UNC's women's basketball first game back against Southern Utah. All that and more here on Bear News.
When you see a school bus, pay attention. It means children are around. This driver was texting and distracted. He tried to pass the stopped school bus just as this little boy started to cross the street. In a flash, an innocent child is gone. Yellow means caution. Red means stop. So stop. It's not just the law, it's a child's life.
Brought to you by the Child Safety Network and the School Bus Safety Company.
Welcome back. I'm meteorologist Mackenzie Lake here with a full weather forecast for today. Looking at all across Colorado, today's highs, we see that in the Fort Morgan, Sterling area, we have highs of in the upper teens, so about 18 at Fort Morgan and 13 in Sterling. Looking at the Fort Collins area, so right around us, looks like they're going to have a high of 27 today. And looking at the lows for tonight, Fort Collins is going to dip all the way down to -1 degrees. And that Fort Morgan and Sterling area are also going to be in the negatives. Taking a look at our current conditions as of right now for Greeley, Colorado, we know that we have a high of 17 degrees and a low of 3 degrees. It has been snowing all day today and will likely continue throughout the rest of the night. Then taking a look at our satellite radar right over here, we see that Colorado has these nice high cloud tops right along the northern edge, and those have been providing our low stratoform clouds that we've been seeing that have cooled our temperatures down a lot throughout the rest of the day. Then taking a look back at the conditions for Friday, we know that we have a high of 17 degrees and a low of -3 degrees, and a high of 12 degrees and a low of -3 degrees. And Friday, it is expected to have It is expected to have snow showers all throughout the day and into the night as well. Then taking a look at our expected snowfall for the weekend from Friday into Saturday, we see that our area, the Fort Collins, Greeley, and Fort Morgan area, we're all expected to get less than 1 inch, so nothing too bad here. But if you are very big into snowboarding or skiing, I highly recommend going to the mountains this weekend, this Friday and Saturday, seeing as we have 6 inches coming this way to Steamboat Springs and a nice 4 inches in Vail. Then taking a look at our weekend forecast for Greeley, Colorado. Saturday through Monday, our temperatures are going to be pretty low. Saturday we have 9 degrees, Sunday is going to dip down into 6 degrees, and then Monday is going to be 17 degrees. Looking at our lows for the rest of the weekend, we're going to have a low of -6 on Saturday, and on Valentine's Day it's going to dip all the way down to -12, so please wear your coats if you're going out and celebrating. Then Monday is going to go right back up to -1 degree, so overall a very, very chilly weekend, and it's going to be very chilly into next week as well. But thank you so much for tuning in. I'm meteorologist Mackenzie Lake, and we will see you next time here at Bear News.
This past Sunday, our attention here on Bear News was on Super Bowl 55, as I'm sure all of yours was as well. If by some chance you haven't heard yet, Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defeated the Kansas City Chiefs in, well, a battle of the GOATs. Aaron has all that and more when we return.
Disasters won't wait for a pandemic to be over. So while your family is home more often, make a plan in case you have to deal with coronavirus and a natural disaster at the same time. Ready.gov/plan has the educational tools and resources to help your family prepare for emergencies and find information on how the coronavirus may affect your plan. Disasters won't wait, neither should you. Make a plan with your family today.
Good evening, this is Bear News Sports and I'm Aaron Schmidt. UNC's men's basketball team hasn't played since January 29th against Northern Arizona when they lost 68-64. Why haven't they played? I think everyone watching this can answer that question. The men's basketball team has canceled 6 games due to COVID issues and won't be able to play until February 25th against Portland State at the Bank of Colorado Arena. And as for the women's basketball team, they took the court against Southern Utah on February 4th, and it was a close game throughout. There were 12 lead changes, and the biggest lead of the game was the Bears having the advantage late in the third quarter by a score of 50-45. But in the end, the Thunderbirds came away with the victory by a score of 70-63. Alicia Davis led the Bears in scoring with 13 points. She also got 10 rebounds, and the Thunderbirds' Sharita Daughtry led all scorers with 19 points and 6 rebounds. So the Bears fall to a 7-11 record. Their next game came this afternoon on the road against Sacramento State. The women picked up another win by a score of 67-50, leaving them with an 8-11 record. Well, love him or hate him, Tom Brady won his 7th Super Bowl with the Buccaneers on Sunday, beating the Chiefs 31-9. Tom Brady threw for 201 yards and threw 3 touchdowns, 2 of them to Rob Gronkowski and the other to Antonio Brown. Patrick Mahomes threw for 270 yards but threw 2 interceptions. Brady and Tyrann Mathieu of the Chiefs were jawing at each other most of the game, but immediately after the game, Brady texted Mathieu an apology for his actions. To put Brady's accomplishments into perspective, he's won more than 18 NFL teams combined. Yes, I said combined, now, and there's really no end in sight. And although this Super Bowl went back to the blowouts of the 1980s, it also had something brand new. Other than the game, did you know that the game had another type of history? The National Football League had their first female referee officiate the game. Bear News reporter Caitlin Stoddard has some interesting facts about the new referee, Sarah Thomas.
This past Sunday, Sarah Thomas made history by becoming the first female referee to officiate a Super Bowl. I am sure most of you are curious about Sarah Thomas's background as a person and referee. Here are 5 facts about Thomas that will give you an insight of who she is. Fact 1, Thomas grew up as an avid athlete. She played a lot of softball during high school. Fact 2, Thomas was surrounded by a football family. Her 2 brothers both played football. Fact 3, Thomas rose through the ranks as a college football official. She became the first woman to officiate a bowl game and later was the first to officiate in a Big Ten stadium in 2011. Fact 4, Thomas spent time as a pharmaceutical representative before becoming a full-time NFL official in 2015. She worked as a pharmaceutical sales representative in addition to her officiating responsibilities before being hired as the NFL's first permanent female official in April 2015. And fact 5, the NFL created the term down judge after Thomas's hiring. Thomas began her NFL officiating career as a line judge, but moved to down judge in 2017. So Thomas has a strong athletic background and has a lot of knowledge with sports. Reporting for Bear News, I am Caitlin Stoddard.
Really exciting to see if the NFL continues to allow more female referees to officiate games next season.
Now that the Super Bowl has come and gone, Aaron, do you believe the game lived up to all the hype we heard leading up to the face-off between Brady and Mahomes?
It lived up to the hype if you're a Bucs or a Brady's fan. If you're a Chiefs fan, it was nothing but disappointment and sadness.
Personally, as a Broncos fan, it was hard to pick a side to root for. It was either the rival from Kansas City or the famous Tom Brady, who's been battling the Broncos with the Patriots for years. But I have to admit, it was pretty fun to cheer Brady on to his 7th Super Bowl win, especially with a different team.
That does it for our show tonight on Bear News. Tune in next week for an update on the Loveland Community Kitchen and their campaign with UNC students.
Next Thursday, we will be back with more news and sports from UNC and the Greeley community. Thank you and good night.